Okay, so Portsmouth, now their next meeting is August.
Well, why don't we just
Okay.
finish up with Providence? So we should send them a letter at least, but should we also try and get on their agenda or contact their council members directly? I mean, the town manager, what was the deal with how often they meet?
In Providence?
Yeah.
I have not spoken to anyone in Providence.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay, you just put it up there.
I spoke with some people.
Mhm.
Like I said, last week I called a bunch of the towns and found out when the meetings were, but I did not find out when the deadline to get on the agenda was
Mm-hmm.
for most of them.
Okay.
Because I thought that that Cheryl might do that, and I thought that Dick might be doing that, but I guess it was really my responsibility, but I ended up leaving for Thursday and Friday, so I didn't find out when the deadlines were. I do have the deadlines for some of the towns, but as far as Providence, their city council meeting, their most recent one was last week.
Okay.
So it was last Thursday, I believe, and
Well, I mean, my guess is they're not going to meet for
2 weeks.
probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we can get to them.
Well, is it, I mean, just sending a letter and getting on, standing up for 3 minutes and saying, look, this is what's going on, that's one thing, but do we have any, and it's obviously that's effective, could be effective. Do we, I think personal contact, is there any, do we know anyone that knows?
We can, yeah,
Sure,
sure.
the council, we kind of get in and say,
Yeah.
look, this is going on, address it that way. I think that's a much more effective way
Yes.
to get somebody to say, oh yeah, it's a great idea, versus a public forum where they have to sort of make a commitment as a group. I just wonder, it's easier to have, if we only need a representative of the council, do we know people? Does the town council here know people up there?
Yeah, well, Cheryl may or Bruce may. So, I don't know, who's been actually sending out the letters? Has Cheryl been doing that? Or?
Cheryl had sent them out
Mhm.
for the council before.
Okay.
She hasn't sent any out on behalf of us yet, and that's what we need to ask her to do. And
Mm-hmm.
what either Dick or I were planning on doing is writing a draft and having her send that out, kind of form it.
All right. Well, all right. So I
And
guess.
that's what we really need to do this week. I think we need to
Yeah.
propose something and send it out and get on our agenda. So I will make that a priority for this week, because once we figure out who's going to which town, then we can find out when their meeting is going to be, which I pretty much already have. So.
All right. Well, if you get a draft to Cheryl and she can send it to Providence anyway. Is it going to be a?
There are some towns here that I have not contacted.
Who's this letter going to be signed by?
That's a good question. We could have it signed by our committee, or we could have it signed by Mike Schnack, or
I think we should have it
Bruce.
signed by the town council, maybe. or somebody at the town council.
Yeah, that would be Mike Schnack. And
Yeah.
that's just sent out the last one.
So you do it.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they started this ball rolling. We're trying to manage it, but I think it is their invitation to everyone to go gathering. So.
Yeah. And maybe that's something that are you planning to go to the meeting next door after this?
Well, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Not necessarily, but that way.
Okay, we're on the agenda, so I didn't know.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll deal with that afterwards.
Okay, it's not. So why don't I just, for just Providence, make a motion that we do visit Providence, send them a personal letter, and establish personal contact with their clerk.
Well, in the text of this letter, should we ask them to be part of the Congress of Councils,
Absolutely.
and at the same time, and tell them what we're doing in the parliament, or whatever. At the same time, ask them if they would like us to come, or if we can come, right? To roll that all into one letter.
Well, that's right. I guess that,
Yeah.
my feeling would be the letter goes out to them, and then Cheryl or Bruce, someone reaches out to see whether it would be helpful to have one of us come up there and do a spiel or whatever, and do it that way.
I'm just imagining their city council meetings are much more involved than any of the other smaller municipalities.
So it may be something they can just deal with by letter.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, that's a great idea, let's send somebody down to be part of that. That's what it
Yeah. So I don't really need to put that in motion form, I suppose.
No, I don't think we need that. We're administrating right now.
Right, yeah.
Um,
So I'll find out on that.
And Narragansett, August 2nd, do we have, is, just one of us need to raise their hand to go to that meeting?
Narragansett,
You said
August.
August.
Okay, well,
Seconds are
let's
next.
talk about what other meetings and dates we have coming up. Let's hear the whole list and then we can.
Yes, August 2nd, and we have to get on their agenda by July 22nd. But yes, we are looking for someone who would like to do that. As I mentioned, I was going to do it tonight, but we weren't on their agenda, and I heard their meeting tonight is going to be pretty involved, so. So, would you like to volunteer?
I would, my daughter's coming back from France that night, I don't know what time, I've got to go down to New York to pick her up, or by the Marriott, I do, so I can let you know, tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll give you a call.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
I'd happily volunteer if I can, turns out she's coming in late, or Mary can go down and get her. That's-
Okay, you could send me an email in the affirmative, and if I don't hear from you, what we'll do at least is get on their agenda.
Yeah, one of us can go. I mean, August 2nd is, it's a couple weeks away, so.
Yes.
So if we have a meeting next week, we can firm that up.
Okay, and then Dick Lynn's going to be going Fall River, that's
Okay.
August 10th. Now, Lowell, you had mentioned Little Compton. That
Yeah.
you were gonna try and get in touch with them.
Do you know when their next meeting is?
I did not check
Oh,
today. See, in order to find out their agenda, it's not posted usually until 2 or 3 days before the meeting.
Right.
You have to call them, and I didn't call them today because I had started work in the afternoon.
Call them tomorrow.
Okay. Either that or I could, but if you'd like to, that would be
I'll do that.
that'd be fine. What I could do is I could give you, do you have the Secretary of State website? And that has a listing, it's an alphabetical listing of all the towns.
Yeah.
And you can just, it has all the information, who to contact right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think of the cities and towns and then open
Yeah,
meetings.
I've been on that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that puts you right in, you just go to Little Compton Town Council, it'll give the one name of the person you have to reach, so. All right, so Lowell for that. Tiverton, that's kind of been an uncertain thing. I think that I will go up there, because I've spoken to her several times, and I don't think I think that's something we don't really need to get on the agenda, and I would just,
That's 1 week from tonight?
26, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it one, so
Yeah,
it's a Monday
that's
night? Yeah, that's tricky. So, it's August 10th also, Monday night, I imagine. Now, August 10th is a Tuesday, so I could plan to go to their August 10th meeting, which gives us ample time to get them, involved and motivated.
Well, is it, because of the conflict with you being secretary, again, I can stand in, or somebody can stand in?
Instead of 26, yeah.
Well, if it's urgent to get this sooner rather than later.
Right.
it's-
Well,
We can shift things around, we don't all need to be in attendance.
well,
Right.
there's also East Greenwich Town Council, which is also on the 26th, so,
Or I could just go, why don't I do July 26th, Tiverton,